The large screen on the bridge of the Harbinger showed a strange alien ship approaching. Captain Elaine Winters watched with steady eyes. This was it. First contact with the Galactic Council. "Ready, Captain?" asked her second-in-command, Lieutenant Frank Davis. "As ready as anyone can be to meet aliens who run most of the galaxy," she replied. The year was 2135, and humanity had only recently developed faster-than-light travel. When mysterious signals had reached Earth's deep space monitors, no one expected they would come from a massive federation of 27 different alien species called the Galactic Council. The Harbinger had been sent to meet the Council representatives at the edge of the solar system, near Neptune's orbit. Captain Winters and her crew were the first humans to meet aliens face-to-face. "They're hailing us," said Communications Officer Maria Rodriguez, putting it on screen. The alien that appeared had blue skin and 4 eyes. It spoke in perfect English. "Greetings, humans of Earth. I am Vraxthor, Council President. We have been watching your species for some time." Captain Winters squared her shoulders. "On behalf of Earth and all humanity, we welcome you and look forward to peaceful relations." The meeting that followed was held on the Council's ship. Captain Winters and diplomat Jack Riley stepped into a large room filled with creatures of all shapes and sizes. Some had tentacles, others had wings. Some looked almost human, while others were so strange they were hard to look at. Vraxthor spoke to the gathered council members. "These are representatives of the human species from the planet Earth. They request consideration for council membership." Jack Riley stepped forward with a smile. "We bring greetings and friendship. Earth would be honored to join the Galactic Council and share knowledge and resources with our galactic neighbors." Murmurs filled the room. Not friendly murmurs. A tall, thin alien with gray skin stood up. "These humans have barely left their own solar system. Look at their primitive ship. They still use physical controls instead of mind links." Another alien, this one covered in red fur, added, "We have studied their history. They wage war constantly. They pollute their planet. They are barbarians." Jack tried to defend humanity. "We have made mistakes, yes, but we have also created beautiful art, music, and literature. We have developed advanced medicine and technology. We are peaceful now with a united world government." Vraxthor raised a hand to silence him. "The Council has already voted. Earth is denied membership at this time. You are not yet evolved enough for galactic society." Captain Winters felt her face grow hot with anger, but she kept her voice calm. "May I ask what criteria we failed to meet? Your technology is primitive. Your culture is aggressive. Your biology is unsuited for advanced civilization," Vraxthor said. "We will establish a small monitoring outpost in your solar system to observe your development. Perhaps in a few hundred years, you might be reconsidered." Back on the Harbinger Captain Winters couldn't hide her frustration. "They treated us like children," she said to Jack. "Worse than children, like pets." Jack nodded grimly. "The Council has been around for thousands of years. They think they know everything." "What do we tell Earth?" asked Lieutenant Davis. "The truth," Captain Winters said, "that the galaxy is full of life, but they don't want us at their table." 2 days later, the Harbinger returned to Earth. A small council ship followed, settling into orbit around Jupiter. They called it an observation post, but everyone knew it was really there to watch humans and make sure they stayed in their place. As Captain Winters gave her report to Earth's united government, she noticed something in the eyes of the world leaders. It wasn't defeat, it was determination. "They want us to stay quiet and develop slowly under their watch," said President Laura Chen. "But humanity has never been good at following orders from those who look down on us." "What do we do now?" asked Captain Winters. "We prepare," said the President. "We learn. We grow stronger, and we don't let them see what we're really capable of." No one knew it then, but this rejection would change the fate of the entire galaxy. 5 years passed. Earth continued to send messages to the Galactic Council asking for membership. Every time the answer was the same: not yet evolved enough. The Council's observation post on Jupiter's moon, Europa, grew larger. Council aliens walked on Earth now, always watching, always taking notes. They didn't hide their looks of disgust when they saw humans eat meat or argue or sweat. But humans were watching too. Dr. Alan Murphy worked late in his lab at the Global Science Institute. He studied brain scans of humans and the few alien species Earth had data on. Tonight, he saw something that made him spill his coffee. "This can't be right," he muttered. He checked his equipment, ran the tests again. Same result. At 3 a.m., he called Commander Olivia Garcia of Earth Defense. "It better be important, Alan," she said, her voice rough with sleep. "I found something," he said. "Something big." The next day, they met in a secure room deep under Denver. President Chen was there, along with Captain Winters, who was now Admiral Winters. Dr. Murphy showed them his discovery. "Humans have unique neural pathways not found in any council species," he explained. "These connections allow our brains to process information in ways theirs can't." Commander Garcia leaned forward. "What does that mean in simple terms?" "We're faster," Murphy said. "Our brains adapt more quickly. We make connections they can't. In combat situations, we would have better reflexes, better adaptability." "An advantage," Admiral Winters said. "A big one," Murphy agreed. "And they have no idea." President Chen looked thoughtful. "Can we use this?" Commander Garcia nodded. "We keep this secret. Meanwhile, we learn everything we can from their technology." 2 months later, engineer Kevin Wallace made his own breakthrough. His team had been studying the small council ships that sometimes landed on Earth. "They think we're just admiring their ships," Kevin told the Earth Defense Council. "But we figured out how their propulsion works. We can build it now and make it better." Earth began a secret military buildup. New factories were built underground or inside mountains. The Council observers saw only what humans wanted them to see: a planet still using rockets and struggling with climate change. In secret bunkers around the world, humans built new kinds of ships that could move faster and fight harder than anything the Council had. They trained pilots and soldiers using simulations based on what they knew about Council species. Commander Garcia oversaw combat training. She watched as soldiers used their superior reflexes to outmaneuver simulated alien fighters. "The Council thinks we're primitive because we still rely on our bodies," she told Admiral Winters. "They've replaced parts of themselves with technology, but that's made them slower, weaker." "How long until we're ready?" asked the Admiral. "At this rate, 2 more years," Garcia replied, "unless something forces our hand." Something did. On a cold November morning, a Council ship much larger than usual appeared in Earth orbit. Admiral Winters was called to an emergency meeting. "They're demanding to inspect our military facilities," President Chen said. "They say they've detected unusual energy signatures." "They suspect something," Admiral Winters replied. "But we're not ready yet." "We have no choice but to let them look at some facilities," said Commander Garcia. "The fake ones we set up as decoys." "Will that be enough to fool them?" asked President Chen. No one knew for sure, but they had to try. The Council representatives, 3 tall aliens with gray skin, landed at the main Earth spaceport. They were met by Admiral Winters herself. "We understand you have concerns," she said politely. "We're happy to show you our facilities." The aliens followed her to a base in Arizona. It had old-style jets and basic weapons, nothing that would worry the Council. "This is all you have?" asked the lead alien, whose name was Zilvan. "We're a peaceful planet now," Admiral Winters said with a smile, "just as you've encouraged us to be." Zilvan's 4 eyes narrowed. "We'll need to see more." For 3 days, the Council team inspected Earth's decoy facilities. They seemed satisfied, but as they prepared to leave, Zilvan had a final message. "The Council has concerns about Earth's development path," he said. Further restrictions may be necessary. As Admiral Winters watched their ship leave, she knew time was running out. Earth needed to be ready sooner than planned. They're going to try to hold us back even more, she told President Chen. We need to accelerate everything. Far from Earth, on the Council's capital world, a lone alien worked late into the night. Her name was Zerak, and she served as an intelligence officer for the Council. Tonight, she stared at her screen with growing fear. The data was clear. Strange energy readings were coming from the edge of the galaxy. Readings that matched ancient records from before the Council existed. Zerak had spent years studying the old stories that most Council members dismissed as myths. Stories about the Void Hunters, a species so deadly they had nearly wiped out all life in the galaxy eons ago. Then they had suddenly vanished. Now, it seemed they were returning. Zerak gathered her evidence and requested an emergency meeting with the Council leadership. She stood before them the next day, her blue scales shimmering under the bright lights. The readings match exactly, she explained. The Void Hunters are returning. We must prepare. Council President Vraxthor laughed. The Void Hunters are a bedtime story to scare children. These readings are probably just a new type of space storm. With respect, President, the evidence is not conclusive, Vraxthor interrupted. We will not cause panic based on old legends. Zerak left the chamber with heavy steps. If the Council wouldn't listen, who would? An idea came to her, a dangerous one. 2 days later, a small ship entered Earth's solar system. It avoided the Council observation post and sent a message directly to Earth's government. On Earth, Sam Blackwood sat in a dark room beneath the Rocky Mountains. As head of Earth's intelligence agency, he was used to secrets. But the message on his screen was unlike anything he'd seen before. Sir, his assistant said, you need to see this. An alien named Nixterra wants to meet. Says it's about a threat to the whole galaxy. Sam made a call to Admiral Winters. We need to hear what this alien has to say. The meeting took place at a remote cabin in Alaska. Nixterra was a Council scientist who worked with Zerak. She brought data and ancient records. The Void Hunters destroyed thousands of worlds before they disappeared, she explained. No one knows why they left, but Zerak has found evidence they're coming back. Why come to us? Asked Sam. We're just primitive humans, according to your Council. Nixterra's 4 eyes blinked rapidly. The Council ignores the warning. They refuse to prepare. Zerak thought. Perhaps humans might listen. We'll listen, said Admiral Winters. But we need proof. Nixterra gave them coordinates. Your deep space monitoring stations. Look here. Earth had built secret monitoring stations beyond Pluto. Not even the Council knew about them. Sam sent orders, and within hours, the data came back. She's right, Sam told the emergency meeting of Earth's leaders. There's something out there, moving fast toward our galaxy. President Chen's face was grim. How long do we have? At their current speed, 6 months until they reach the first Council worlds, Sam replied. Maybe 8 months until they reach Earth. Are we sure these are the Void Hunters? Asked Commander Garcia. The energy signatures match what Nixterra showed us, Sam said. And our AI analysis confirms these aren't normal ships. They're something else. President Chen stood up. We need to warn the Council. They won't listen. Admiral Winters said. They didn't listen to their own people. We have to try, insisted the President. If these Void Hunters are as dangerous as Nixterra says, the whole galaxy is at risk, even Earth. 1 week later, Earth Ambassador Diana Collins stood before the Galactic Council. The Grand Chamber was filled with representatives from all 27 species. Honorable Council members, she began, Earth has detected a grave threat approaching our galaxy. We believe these are the beings known in your ancient records as the Void Hunters. Murmurs filled the room. Some laughed. Council President Vraxthor raised his hand for silence. And how did primitive humans detect something our advanced sensors missed? We have our methods, Diana replied carefully. We're sharing this information out of concern for all life in the galaxy. Vraxthor's 4 eyes narrowed. This is transparent. You invent a threat hoping to scare us into giving Earth a council seat. This is not about politics, Diana insisted. It's about survival. Enough. Vraxthor stood. The council will not be manipulated by human primitive paranoia. As Diana was escorted out, she sent a message back to Earth. They won't listen. We're on our own. On Earth, preparations accelerated, but time was running out. Ambassador Diana Collins returned to Earth angry and frustrated. The Council had not just ignored Earth's warning, they had laughed at it. They think we made up the whole thing, she told President Chen. Council President Vraxthor actually said, and I quote, "Humans have active imaginations. It makes up for their lack of intelligence." President Chen's face hardened. Their arrogance will cost lives. Earth continued monitoring the approaching Void Hunter ships. Every day they got closer. Earth sent more warnings to the Council. Each one was ignored. "We need to focus on protecting ourselves," Admiral Winters said during an emergency meeting. "The Council won't listen until it's too late." "But we can't just let innocent people die," argued Diana. "There are trillions of beings on those Council worlds." Sam Blackwood nodded. "Diana's right. But we also need to be smart about this. We can't fight the Void Hunters alone." For the next month, Earth prepared. The secret shipyards built more vessels. Soldiers trained harder. Scientists worked to understand the Void Hunters based on the ancient records Nyx Terra had shared. Then it happened. The colony world of Trell 5, at the outer edge of Council space, went silent. No distress call. No warning. Just silence. At first, the Council blamed a communication failure. Then the images arrived from a passing trade ship. Trell 5's cities were gone. The oceans were boiling. Nothing lived on the surface anymore. Earth's leaders watched the footage with grim faces. "It's starting," said Commander Garcia. 3 days later, Vraxthor himself appeared on a transmission to Earth. "We have investigated the destruction of Trell 5, he said, his voice missing its usual smugness. "Evidence suggests an unknown hostile force. Our scientists are analyzing the data." "Did he just apologize for not listening to us?" asked Diana. "Not even close," replied President Chen. "He still can't admit we were right." Within a week, 2 more Council worlds went dark. Now the Council was scared. Their military ships rushed to create a defensive line, but they were scattered and unprepared. Nyx Terra and Zarak arrived on Earth in a small ship. They had fled the Council capital with more data about the Void Hunters. "The Council is finally taking action," Zarak told Earth's leaders. "But it's too little, too late. Their ships are in the wrong positions. Their weapons are ineffective against Void Hunter technology." "How bad will it get?" asked Admiral Winters. Without proper preparation, Nyx Terra's 4 eyes blinked sadly. The Void Hunters could destroy half the galaxy before they're stopped. Maybe more. Earth's leaders looked at each other. They had a decision to make. "We could stay here, defend our solar system," said Commander Garcia. "Our ships and weapons might hold them off." "And let the rest of the galaxy burn?" asked President Chen. The room fell silent. "We warned them," Admiral Winters said finally. "Now we need to do more than warn them. We need to save them." The order went out. Earth's secret fleet would launch within 48 hours. Colony worlds would be evacuated. Earth itself would prepare for possible attack. Ambassador Diana Collins made one final transmission to the Galactic Council. "Honorable Council members," she began, "the threat we warned you about has arrived. The Void Hunters have destroyed 3 of your worlds already. More will follow." She paused, looking directly at the camera. "Earth will not stand by while innocent lives are lost. We are mobilizing our fleet to evacuate threatened worlds and engage the enemy. We have prepared for this moment while you ignored our warnings." Council President Vraxthor's face showed shock. "What fleet? Your technology is primitive." Diana allowed herself a small smile. You never bothered to truly understand humans, did you? We learned from your ships. We improved on your designs. We built in secret while your observers saw only what we wanted them to see. This is outrageous. Vraxthor sputtered. No, Diana's voice grew hard. What's outrageous is that you dismissed our warnings because of your prejudice. Now people are dying. She leaned forward. We told you there was danger coming. You didn't listen. So now we're telling you something else. Run, get your people to safety. Because the night is here, and it's darker than you ever imagined. As the transmission ended, Earth's first battle fleet rose from hidden bases all over the planet. The ships were sleek and powerful, unlike anything the Council had ever seen from humans before. The time for warnings was over. The time for action had begun. Earth's fleet moved through space with purpose and speed. 100 ships, each larger and more powerful than anything humans had publicly shown before. Admiral Paul Hernandez stood on the bridge of the flagship, the Sword of Terra *. Status report, he ordered. All ships in formation. Admiral, replied his second-in-command. Council observation ships are following us at a distance. They seem shocked. Admiral Hernandez smiled slightly. I imagine they are. How long until we reach the evacuation zone? 6 hours, sir. On Earth, Dr. Cynthia Reeves worked frantically in her lab. Her team had spent years developing a weapon system that used the unique neural patterns of humans. Now they work to install the final version on Earth's ships. The neural net is ready, she told President Chen through a secure channel. Ships that receive the upgrade will have a significant advantage against the Void Hunters. How many ships can you upgrade? The President asked. We've already upgraded the Sword of Terra and 15 other ships. Dr. Reeves replied. The rest will need to return to Earth in groups. President Chen nodded. Good work, Doctor. This may be our only edge. The neural net was a revolutionary combat system. It connected human pilots directly to their ships, using those special neural pathways Dr. Murphy had discovered years ago. The ships responded to thought faster than any button or lever could. It made human reflexes even faster. Meanwhile, the Council was in chaos. More worlds had fallen to the Void Hunters. Their military was scattered, their people panicking. How did humans build this fleet in secret? Demanded Council President Vraxthor. Our observers saw nothing. Zarak, who had returned to the Council with evidence too strong to ignore, spoke up. They showed us what we expected to see. We believe humans were primitive because we wanted to believe it. Their ships are heading toward the Vega system, reported a Council military officer. The Void Hunters will reach Vega in 2 days. Why Vega? Asked Vraxthor. It has no strategic value. It has 6 billion people, Zarak said quietly. They're going to evacuate them. Far from both Earth and the Council capital, the Sword of Terra arrived at Vega. The system had 3 inhabited planets, all heavily populated. The local Council representatives were confused by the human ships. We received no orders to allow human ships in our system, said the Vegan governor. Admiral Hernandez was direct. Governor, the Void Hunters will be here in less than 48 hours. Your people need to evacuate now. Evacuate? That's impossible. We have 6 billion. We have brought 100 ships. Hernandez interrupted. Each can carry 100,000 people. Council worlds in safer regions have agreed to accept refugees. We start loading immediately. The evacuation began. Human crews worked tirelessly, loading as many people as possible onto the ships. They knew they couldn't save everyone, but they would save as many as they could. On the second day, as the last ships prepared to leave, the Void Hunters arrived. 3 massive black ships entered the system. They seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. Smaller ships swarmed around them like insects. All evacuation ships, leave immediately, ordered Admiral Hernandez. Battle Group 1. Form up. 20 Earth ships, all equipped with the neural net, moved to face the Void Hunters. The rest of the fleet jumped away with the refugees. On the council capital, leaders watched through long-range sensors. Many expected the human ships to be destroyed instantly. Instead, they watched in amazement as the Earth vessels moved with impossible speed and precision. The neural net allowed the human pilots to react faster than any council ship ever could. "How are they doing that?" whispered Vraxthor. Zaruk watched closely. "They're fighting in a way we've never seen before." The battle was fierce. Earth lost 7 ships, but they destroyed one of the massive Void Hunter vessels and dozens of smaller ones. Then they jumped away, having bought precious time for the evacuation ships to escape. When Admiral Hernandez returned to Earth with the battle data, Dr. Reeves and her team immediately began improving the neural net. "We hurt them," Hernandez told Earth's leaders. "But there are hundreds more Hunter ships out there." "And the Council?" asked President Chen. "They've requested an emergency meeting," replied Ambassador Collins. "It seems they're finally ready to listen." "Good," said Commander Garcia with a grim smile. "Because now, they need us more than we ever needed them." The Void Hunters hit 3 Council core worlds within days. Billions died. The Council's ships tried to fight back, but were overwhelmed. Their weapons barely damaged the Hunter vessels. Their tactics were too predictable. On the planet Proxima Centauri IV, a human colony world, Captain Jason Martinez prepared for battle. His ship, the Defiant Asterisk, was smaller than the Sword of Terra Asterisk, but just as advanced. He had 20 ships under his command and orders to hold the Proxima outpost at all costs. "Hunter ships entering the system," reported his sensor officer. 5 large vessels, dozens of smaller ones. "All ships, battle formation Delta," ordered Captain Martins. "Remember your neural net training. Be unpredictable. Think beyond standard tactics." A Council observation ship hung back, watching. They had sent observers to all human battles, trying to understand how humans fought so effectively against an enemy that tore through Council defenses. The Void Hunter ships moved with terrible purpose toward the human colony. They had destroyed every world they encountered so far. They expected this one to be no different. They were wrong. Captain Martinez had studied the data from previous battles. He had noticed something important. The Hunters always attacked in the same pattern. They were powerful, but not creative. "Execute Operation Wildcard," he ordered. His ships scattered in what looked like chaos. Some powered down, appearing dead in space. Others flew directly at the Hunter vessels at top speed. Still others flew in spiral patterns, making them hard to target. The Council observers watched in confusion. This was not how space battles were fought. There was no proper formation, no clear strategy. But the Hunters were confused too. Their perfect attack pattern broke apart as they tried to deal with ships that weren't behaving as expected. The Defiant Asterisk slipped behind a moon, then burst out at full speed, firing all weapons at the nearest Hunter ship. The neural net let Captain Martinez control his ship as if it were part of his own body. He dodged enemy fire with impossible precision. 3 Hunter ships focused on the Defiant Asterisk, trying to destroy the annoying human vessel. That was exactly what Martinez wanted. While they focused on him, the rest of his fleet attacked the other Hunter ships from multiple angles. The battle raged for hours. Human ships danced around the slower Hunter vessels. The neural net gave humans reaction times the Hunters couldn't match. When it was over, 3 Hunter ships were destroyed. 2 retreated, badly damaged. The human fleet lost 7 ships, but the colony was safe. The Council observation ship transmitted everything back to the Council capital. What they had seen changed everything they thought about humans. On the Council capital world, a grim meeting took place. Council President Vraxthor looked old and tired. "The Void Hunters have destroyed 17 worlds," he said. "Our best fleets can't stop them. Yet humans have now won 3 battles against them." "The Proxima battle was most impressive," said the Council military commander. "Their tactics were unusual but highly effective." We need their help, Vraxthor admitted, the words clearly painful for him to say. A delegation was quickly assembled. Council diplomat Trelvin, once a harsh critic of humans, was sent to Earth with an urgent message. When Trelvan's ship arrived at Earth, he was immediately taken to meet with President Chen and Earth's military leaders. The Council requests Earth's assistance against the Void Hunter threat, Trelvin said formally. We offer full cooperation and resource sharing. And what about Council membership? Asked Ambassador Collins. Trelvin hesitated. That would require a full Council vote. Admiral Winters laughed without humor. After all this, you still can't admit you were wrong about us. President Chen raised her hand for quiet. Earth will help fight the Void Hunters. We'll share our technology and tactics. But we have one condition. What condition? Asked Trelvin nervously. Earth must be granted full Council membership, said President Chen, with leadership status and the military response to this threat. Trelvin's 4 eyes blinked rapidly. The Council may not accept. Then the Council will fight alone, interrupted Admiral Hernandez. And the Void Hunters will destroy you all. The room fell silent. Everyone knew it was true. Finally, Trelvin nodded. I will take your terms to the Council. 3 days later, the answer came back. The Council had voted. Earth would join the Galactic Council with full membership and leadership of the combined military forces. The alliance of necessity had begun. But could former enemies really work together against a threat to all life in the galaxy? The Great Council meeting hall was packed with representatives from all 27 species. Humans sat among them for the first time. Admiral Nicole Vasquez, newly appointed commander of the combined forces, stood before them. The Void Hunters have a pattern, she explained. They attack, destroy, and move on. But they're not invincible. We've proven that. Council members murmured among themselves. Some still couldn't believe they were taking orders from a human. Our plan is simple, continued Admiral Vasquez. We will adapt human neural net technology to work with Council ships. This will give your pilots faster reaction times. We will then set a trap at Arcturus. Why Arcturus? Asked a Council military leader. Because it's where they'll go next, Admiral Vasquez replied. Our analysis shows they're moving in a spiral pattern toward the center of the galaxy. Engineer Ryan Peters led the team that modified the neural net for alien biology. It wasn't easy. Each species had different brain structures. I can make it work for most Council species, he told Admiral Vasquez. But it won't be as effective as it is for humans. Our neural pathways are uniquely suited for this technology. Do what you can, she replied. We need every advantage. For 2 weeks, Council ships were fitted with the modified neural net systems. Council pilots trained with humans, learning new battle tactics. Many Council members were shocked by how humans fought, with creativity and adaptability rather than strict formations and rules. Your methods are chaotic, complained a Council commander. Chaos confuses the hunters, replied Captain Martinez, who had been promoted after the Proxima battle. They expect patterns. Give them the unexpected. Not everyone was happy with the alliance. Some Council members still looked down on humans. Some humans hadn't forgotten the years of being treated as inferiors. But the threat of extinction was a powerful motivator for cooperation. The trap was set at Arcturus. 300 ships, a mix of human and Council vessels, waited. Some were visible, acting as bait. Others hid behind moons or in the shadow of the star. When the Void Hunters arrived, they found what appeared to be a standard defensive formation. They moved in for the kill, just as they had many times before. That's when the hidden ships attacked from all sides. The battle was fierce. Hunter ships destroyed dozens of Allied vessels. But for the first time, the Allied forces were winning. The Council ships, with their new neural net systems, moved faster than before. They followed the unpredictable tactics humans had taught them. The Void Hunters seemed confused by this new approach. Admiral Vasquez directed the battle from her flagship. Focus fire on the lead hunter vessel, she ordered. All ships with heavy weapons, target these coordinates. The combined firepower of 30 ships hit the massive hunter vessel at the same point. Its black surface cracked, revealing a glowing core beneath. More shots hit the same spot, and suddenly the ship exploded in a burst of light so bright it blinded sensors for several seconds. When the light faded, the remaining hunter ships were retreating. For the first time, they were running away. The victory at Arcturus changed everything. News spread quickly through the galaxy. The Void Hunters could be beaten. Hope returned to worlds that had been preparing for death. On the Council Capital, Admiral Vasquez met with the full council. "We've won a battle, not the war," she warned them. "The Hunters will adapt. We need to push our advantage now." Council President Fraxtor, who had once mocked humans as primitive, now spoke with respect. "What do you suggest, Admiral?" "We take the fight to them," she replied. "A strike force to hunt the Hunters. Hit them before they can hit us." The council approved her plan without debate. It was a sign of how much had changed. Humans were no longer seen as primitive. They were now valued for the very things that made them different. As the meeting ended, a council member approached Admiral Vasquez privately. "I was wrong about humans," he admitted. "We all were. Your unpredictability, your adaptability. They're not weaknesses. They're strengths we have forgotten." Admiral Vasquez nodded. "Sometimes the oldest species have the most to learn." The next phase of the war was about to begin. And for the first time, the galaxy had real hope of survival. 6 months of brutal war followed the victory at Arcturus. The combined human and council forces fought the Void Hunters across dozens of star systems. Sometimes they won. Sometimes they lost. But they never stopped fighting. Admiral Vasquez studied the star map in her command center. Red dots showed Hunter activity. Blue showed Allied forces. "They're gathering in the Orion Arm," she said to her war council. "Nearly half their remaining fleet." "A last stand?" asked Council Commander Kilvex. "Or a trap," said Captain Martinez. "Either way, we need to finish this." The plan they created was bold and dangerous. They would commit almost all their forces to one massive battle. If they won, the Hunter threat would be broken. If they lost, the galaxy might fall. President Chen spoke to the people of Earth. "Tomorrow, our forces join with the Council fleet for what may be the decisive battle of this war. Whatever happens, know that humanity has proven itself. The galaxy now recognizes what we always knew, that our strength lies in our adaptability, our creativity, and our refusal to give up." The battle began at dawn, Earth time. 2,000 Allied ships against 1,500 Hunter vessels. The largest space battle in the history of the galaxy. Admiral Vasquez commanded from her flagship. "Remember your training," she told all captains. "Be unpredictable. Change tactics frequently. Don't let them adapt to your patterns." The human approach to warfare had spread throughout the Allied forces. Council ships now fought with the same creativity and adaptability that had once been uniquely human. The Hunters seemed confused by this. Their strength had always been in overwhelming force and their victims' predictability. Now they faced an enemy that changed tactics constantly, that didn't follow the rules of conventional space warfare. 4 hours into the battle, the tide began to turn. Hunter ships were falling faster than Allied vessels. Their formation was breaking. "They're trying to retreat," reported a sensor officer. "Don't let them," ordered Admiral Vasquez. "If any escape, they'll return with new adaptations." The battle raged for 10 more hours. When it ended, the remaining Hunter ships fled not just from the battlefield, but from the galaxy itself. Long-range sensors tracked them heading into the empty void between galaxies. The victory celebration lasted for days on every council world. For the first time in history, all 28 species of the Galactic Council, including humans, celebrated as one united galaxy. 1 month later, a formal ceremony was held on the Council capital world. The Council structure was being reformed, with humans taking key leadership positions. Greg Fisher, a quiet diplomat who had worked behind the scenes throughout the war, was named the first human council president. "We stand at the beginning of a new era," he said in his acceptance speech, "one where the strengths of each species are valued, where diversity of thought and approach is seen as an asset, not a liability." The Earth delegation included all those who had been part of this journey from the beginning. Admiral Winters, now retired, Ambassador Collins, Commander Garcia, even Captain Elaine Winters, who had been on the Harbinger during first contact, attended as an honored guest. After the ceremony, former Council President Vrax Thor approached Captain Winters. "I owe you an apology," he said, his 4 eyes fixed on hers. "When you first came to us, we saw only what we expected to see, a primitive species unworthy of joining us." "And now?" asked Captain Winters. "Now I understand that what we called primitive was actually something we had lost. The ability to think beyond patterns, to adapt quickly, to surprise even ourselves." He paused, then added quietly, "We should have listened when you told us to run." Captain Winters smiled. "The important thing is that you're listening now." As she looked around at humans and aliens working together, planning the future of their shared galaxy, she felt a sense of pride. Humanity had not just earned its place among the stars. It had shown the galaxy a new way forward. The Council had refused humans a seat. Now humans helped lead the Council. They had warned the galaxy to run from the hunters. Now all species ran toward a better future, together.